everyone, Niklsun here, and welcome to Coming Soon Movie News with Niklsun. I'm your host, and on this show, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we'll be going over all of the day's movie news, as well as going over what it means for the production in general, such as casting decisions, trailer announcements, director announcements, things like that. So, without any further ado, let's get started with today's Hot Topics. The other day, Hugh Jackman went out on his Instagram account and made kind of a surprising announcement. Up until this point, he's been alluding to the fact that, well, he might be considering giving up the role of Wolverine in the near future, especially after watching Birdman. It kind of reinvigorated. This is according to Hugh Jackman himself, that watching that movie kind of reinvigorated himself and that he'll never give this up. He'll want to keep doing it till he dies, while still understanding that he'll probably have to give it up at some point. But just recently, the other day, he went on his Instagram account and took a picture of himself and put the claws just on one hand, 3, saying, "One last time, Wolverine." So that's been alluding to the fact that now he is going to be done after one more solo film, essentially, as him as Wolverine, because that's what that was leading to. And then James Mangold, the director of The Wolverine and the upcoming Wolverine 3, messaged out that, he can't wait to work on this. He's been working on it for so long and can't wait to get together and actually film this movie. So it looks as though Wolverine 3 is going to be the last time we're going to see Hugh Jackman as the character of Wolverine, at least as it stands right now. He might change his mind after he starts filming Wolverine. They might talk about how, we could use him like this, we could use him like this. I don't believe that this is going to be his last time, only because he said this in the past. That he doesn't see how much longer he's going to do it. I'm going to wait to see how the script works and all this kind of stuff. But then he's come back and said, "Oh no, I'm going to do it for a while, and then now I'm going to do it once more." So I don't know if I believe that 100%, but because not only is he going to be in Wolverine 3, there's still, while it's not been confirmed, there's still a lot of speculation that he will be involved in X-Men Apocalypse. I, for one, completely believe that he will be in that. I believe that he's actually going to become one of the 4 Horsemen. But that's just my, theory. I don't even know if they're going to fully utilize them. I mean, we got them in the post-credit scene of Days of Future Past. So they are most likely going to be involved in some capacity. We just don't know what. And I do believe that he is going to be one of them. That's probably how he's going to be included in that film. But let's just take a look back and remember the fact that Hugh Jackman has played this role for well over 15 years now. Actually, I think it'd be just about 15 years now. And he's got at least one more, if not 2 more appearances left as Wolverine. This guy has done his due. He has given us the perfect embodiment of the character of Wolverine, albeit a little bit taller than what we're used to, because Wolverine is like 5'3" in the comics, and Hugh Jackman's like 6'3" or 6'4". But outside of that, he's had the personality of the character, he's had the tenacity of the character, he's had the ferocity of the character down. I mean, the perfect characterization of Wolverine has been brought to us by Hugh Jackman. So we have to give him condolences and mad props about being able to withstand this character for such a long time. And understand the fact that he has given us so many great appearances as Wolverine that he has the right to not reprise his role anymore. It's not like we've only got him 2 or 3 times. We've now, as of right now, had him 7 times. And this will be our 8th time in Wolverine, maybe even a 9th time. Or it might even be, this is X-Men, X2, X-Men The Last Stand, X-Men Wolverines, X-Men First Class, X-Men Days of Future Past. Am I forgetting one? Oh, The Wolverine. So yeah, this will be 8 and then possibly 9. So yeah, I mean, we have to give, we just have to applaud him for the role that he has given us. And the fact that he is, leaving the role, there's a couple of things. If this is true, let's just go on the fact that this will in fact be his last time, because he may renegotiate later on. But if this is his last time as Wolverine, I have a theory as to why they're doing this, because now we're starting to get ideas that, okay, Jennifer Lawrence will not be coming back as Mystique. Nicholas Hoult, while he said that he would like to come back, he is only signed on for Apocalypse. That's the last film that he's contractually obligated to appear in. Michael Fassbender most likely is looking at getting out of this franchise because it's having to take up a lot of his time, and he wants to go and do other projects similar to Jennifer Lawrence. James McAvoy is still a question mark. We still don't know where his priorities are right now, if he just loves being in this universe, because looking at his filmography, he's still able to go and do all the indie films that he wants. I mean, he did Filth, which was a vastly underrated film. It was a weird movie, 100%, but I definitely recommend anybody out there to watch that movie just to see the powerhouse performance that he gave in that movie. I mean, it's just great. So getting to see him do that, I have a feeling that any actual X-Men film, not X-Force or Deadpool or Gambit or anything like that, I think we are going to get a new team. I don't think either that or we're going to get the proper versions of the characters that we've already seen, but we haven't fully been realized yet. Because we know we're getting young Nightcrawler, we're getting young Storm, we're getting young Cyclops, and we're getting young Jean Grey in Apocalypse. Most likely they're setting them up for the next installments of films. We're also getting Channing Tatum as Gambit. We're getting Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. So I have a feeling that they're going to be retiring a lot of these characters. I don't think that in the next couple of X-Men films we're going to see a Wolverine. I don't think they're going to recast him just yet. I think we're actually going to get Cyclops as the proper leader of the X-Men. I think that's where they're going to be going. I wonder if in X-Men Apocalypse they're going to be setting up these characters, and then in 5 years we're going to get another X-Men film where all of these actors who are playing the younger versions have grown up a little bit more, that are in their early 20s. They can potentially even play characters that are slightly older than them. So we might even get a time jump from them in kind of high school, teenage years, jumping to their early 20s in the next X-Men film, which may come out in like 4 or 5 years. So that's where I think that we're going to go. But more importantly, the one thing that I hope that they do right, and I have a feeling that Bryan Singer is well aware of this, and I've brought this up before, we need to get the proper version of Cyclops. We need to get the leader that we know that he is supposed to be, not the whiny sidekick guy who's just love-struck with Jean Grey. No, he is a very powerful and very respected leader. And we need to get that realization on screen just because to do justice to the character. You know, I mean, the X-Men are Cyclops' group. Cyclops is the leader of them. Wolverine has always been like the berserker. He's been the wild card. And while I did like the interpretation that we got, especially with Hugh Jackman's performance, the fact that Wolverine was the focus of the previous films, he could have still been a focus, but still had Cyclops be fully realized the way that he should have been. So I hope that's where we're going to go. And I do have a feeling that while we're going to get one hell of a last performance out of Hugh Jackman, I do think this is the last time we're going to see the character in 2017. The movie's scheduled to release March 17, 2017. And I have a feeling that's going to be the last time we're going to see the character of Wolverine on screen for several years. Several years. I could be completely wrong. I mean, Fox knows that he is their cash cow. He's the one, like Marvel has Iron Man, Fox has Wolverine. And Wolverine is their cash cow. Now, whether or not they're going to just recast him immediately, which I hope they don't do, I hope that we get a little bit of time away from the character of Wolverine and they bring in a great new actor to portray him. That's my hope for it. But what do you guys think? What are your guys' opinions on this? Are you just like me and you kind of upset that Hugh Jackman's not going to be returning as Wolverine, but understand the fact that we've had so many good versions of Wolverine by Hugh Jackman that it just makes sense, you know? To me, it just makes sense. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below what your guys' thoughts are on this. What would you like to see in future X-Men films? All that kind of stuff. So let me know in the comment section below. And the Wolverine 3 is scheduled as it stands right now for March 17th, 2017. If we do get more information about this topic, I will definitely update you guys on here. MGM and Sony Pictures have decided to kick their marketing campaign for the upcoming James Bond film Spectre into high gear this week. And it's a little surprising to me because the movie is still midway through production, and it doesn't even open until November. But yet we're still getting a teaser trailer out, which, I mean, I guess is fine. To me, it's a little bit early to be getting a teaser trailer out, but there's a lot of little tidbits of information in this movie. And I wonder if it's because some of the stuff may have been or was about to be leaked or spoiled online, and so they just put out a teaser just to combat that. I'm not entirely sure as to the reasons why they did this. To me, it's just a little bit early, but there's a couple of really, really interesting facts that came out in this teaser trailer. So first off, it looks to be a direct continuation of Skyfall. So, I mean, you know, you get the shot of MI6 being destroyed, which was done in Skyfall. You get the box of personal effects that they found from the wreckage of Skyfall. For those of you who didn't watch Skyfall, Skyfall was the code name for the safe house that M had. And that's where the entire third act of the movie took place, was at Skyfall. And I believe it also had some. I'd have to watch the movie again. It's been a while since I've watched it, but I do believe that it had something to do with Bond's past as well. But I may be incorrect on that, or I may be confusing the M aspect altogether. I have to watch the movie again. I haven't seen it in a couple of years, so. But it does look to be a continuation of that. They've also brought back Mr. White from both Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace. He was the connecting tissue between those movies, because when you watch Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace, they're almost one movie, because it literally the Casino Royale ends with him getting Mr. White and pulling him out of his house, putting him in the trunk, and Quantum of Solace starts just after that with him on a car chase and a bunch of people, chasing after him, and he's got Mr. White in the trunk. This looks to have the same type of formula that those movies had with Skyfall. So Skyfall and Spectre should conform as one giant film. And it's got the same director, so I mean, it only makes sense to have that connecting tissue and continuity going along. But that one line in the trailer where Mr. White says to him, "You're a kite dancing in a hurricane, Mr. Bond." That the writing in this movie and in all of the James Bond movies, they've always had this just almost higher class, upper echelon dialogue. And it's almost like watching theater. I mean, it's just, I don't know if it's poetic or anything like that, but it's just, you eat it up, it's just, it's almost like getting an appetizer. And so I really like that, but you have to freeze frame this or have a very, very good eye if you don't freeze frame it. But that one shot where he's going through the personal effects and he looks at that torn, burnt piece of paper, it's a legal guardian slip for when James Bond was 12 years old. And on it, I couldn't make out the first name. I think it might have said Carmen Bond or something like that, or Carmine Bond as the legal guardian. But right underneath it, it showed H. Oberhauser as the temp guardian. Hans Oberhauser is Christoph Waltz's character, who we know is the villain. He is the head of Spectre. This shows that James Bond now has a connection to Spectre from when he was a kid, and actually has like a lifelong connection to the leader of that organization. And now I don't know how much further they're going. I think that's going to be a main part of the movie, is how it connects to him. But like until I freeze framed that teaser trailer, the line that he gives at the end when he goes, "Well, hello, James. It's been so long since I've seen you." That to me was just like, oh, I wonder how he knew him, But then looking at this, he's known him since he was a kid. And that means that, Oberhauser was connected to James Bond's parents, most likely, or, I don't know how that's going to connect, but it's a web of conspiracy, and I love it, I mean, I think this is one of the reasons why they released the teaser trailer, because it just gets everybody in a fervor. But, again, I still think that this is just a little bit too early, unless this teaser is going to hold us over until the end of the summer. If we get another trailer for this movie, or if we don't get another trailer for this movie until the end of August, I will be so happy, because that means we're not going to get a third or fourth trailer. And the problem with that is that we could end up having a lot of the movie spoiled. Now, what I mean by that is that James Bond movies nowadays, especially because they're not going based off of the books, there's not a lot of people out there who can pick apart the movies and know where the movies are going to go. When they were based off the books, you could show what you wanted in the trailer just to say, hey, we included this scene, we included this scene, we included this scene, But with these movies, you're able to really give that kind of notion that you have no idea what you're getting yourself into. So I hope that they do kind of the same thing they did with Skyfall, where Skyfall had a teaser trailer and then it had a full trailer. I don't believe that it had a third one. If it did, I didn't even watch it. But that's what I hope that they do. I hope they keep this marketing campaign a little bit smaller, but still getting it out to everybody. Like, have one trailer, but play the hell out of it. And then release another trailer in 4 or 5 months. Play the hell out of it. Don't release a trailer and then 3 weeks later release a new one, and then 3 weeks later release a new one, because you're just spoiling your own audience. You're giving away all your money shots, and then when people go to watch the movie, they get kind of ticked off, I hate going back to this movie because I know we're not going to get a situation like this, but looking at The Amazing Spider-Man 2, the trailer for that movie showed you the last section of the movie. They showed you the shot before the credits started rolling. I mean, why? Why would you do that? Because now people are anticipating watching this scene. And when they're going through the movie, watching it and thinking, this scene hasn't happened yet. This scene hasn't happened yet. Where is it? Where is it going to be? When you know, and then when you start seeing the ending, you're like, oh, okay. So now we know, like, it's just going to end. I hope he beats him. And oh, nope, it was the exact shot we saw in the trailer. I don't think that's going to be the case, but my point is that I just hope that they don't give us shots just to try to sell us on the movie. It's a James Bond movie. It's a Bond movie coming off the heels of arguably the most successful James Bond movie that they've made, both critically and financially. Well, it is definitely financially, crossed $1 billion, but it is still regarded as one of the best James Bond films. So coming off the heels of that, they don't need to market this movie as much in terms of how much footage they actually have to show. So I don't think that we need to worry about that. As long as we get like little set photos or officially released stills from the movie every once in a while, that's more than enough to hold people over. Unless it's 4 months before the release of the movie, and that's all we've got. If we've just got set pictures and official stills, if we haven't gotten any actual footage, that's when you worry. But if it's like 6 months out, you get a little teaser trailer. Before that, you've had a couple of little stills come out. After that, you get a couple more little stills, a couple of interviews from the cast or crew. It's little tidbits of information. It bides people over. It bides their time. It allows them to get a little bit of new information while still anticipating the movie and not having themselves be spoiled. So I hope that they are able to wait until at least August to release the second trailer. But if not, I mean, I just hope that they don't spoil it too much. That's just my main concern with this. But I am through the moon with this movie. I think this was the perfect type of trailer to release because it felt like a James Bond movie. It's one of the first times that I've watched a teaser trailer where I thought that I was watching an old school James Bond film. I think the last time would have been Skyfall. But before that, I don't remember. Casino Royale to me had a great teaser trailer. Quantum of Solace, while it was an okay movie, had great trailers for it, but they didn't feel like Bond films, like especially Quantum of Solace. That felt like a Jason Bourne movie. But now I feel like we're getting back to the golden days of Bond, and I'm really excited, especially with somebody like Sam Mendes coming back to direct, because he did a hell of a job with Skyfall. So I'm on board with this. Spectre is going to be opening up on November 6th, 2015. If you guys haven't checked out the trailer, by the way, you can click the link in the description of this video below to watch it. And yeah, it opens up on November 6th. Let me know what you guys thought of the trailer. And if we do get more information about this topic, I will definitely update you guys on here. After seeing that first official photo of Jake Gyllenhaal in character in the upcoming boxing film Southpaw, we now have our first official trailer. Now, let me just get this out of the way. I really did like the trailer. I like the premise of the movie. I love the talent behind it. I mean, you have Antoine Fuqua directing the film from a script by Kurt Sutter, who is the creator and writer of Sons of Anarchy, as well as he wrote for, I think, The Shield and like several other shows. It's also co-written by Richard Wenk, who wrote The Mechanic, which is a very underrated film if you guys haven't watched it, with Ben Foster and Jason Statham. It's a really underrated film. But more importantly, Jake Gyllenhaal. I mean, I don't think anybody out there can sing praises enough for this guy. I mean, he is one hell of an actor. He's had one hell of the last couple of years. You have Prisoners. You have Enemy. You have, why am I drawing a blank on it right now? Nightcrawler. He's had, even going back a couple of years, he had, what the hell was the one on the train? Source Code. He's done all these great films, especially after he got his whole new management team, when he fired all of his management team, got a whole new one. I believe that was after Prince of Persia. He's just been on a roll. My problem is that this trailer showed you the whole damn movie. So if you haven't watched it yet and you're curious about the film, there's a link in the description of this video below to watch the trailer. But be warned, it pretty much does show you the whole film. I also was not a fan of the music that they chose in the trailers, like mainly just the one that they used at the end of the trailer, because to me that put me off. Like I was watching it, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of on board with this, and then that song came on, I was like, oh, okay, because it just didn't match with the footage that they were showing, and I can understand with the story that they're trying to tell that song might be fitting in terms of the emotion that it gives off and the feeling that it gives off, but still to me it didn't work. Okay, so with that in mind, if you guys don't want to be spoiled, I'm going to talk for about a minute and a half, or maybe a little bit longer. I'm going to wave my hands if when I'm done talking about the spoilers, but if you don't want to be spoiled at all about Southpaw, just wait until you can mute it, and when you see me going like this, then that's when you guys can come back. So, in the trailer, you see the fact that he is, the light heavyweight champion of the world, or he's attempting to get that belt, and he gets kind of cornered by this one other boxer, and during a press release or something like that, they get into a fight, and his wife ends up getting shot and dies. And he then has sole custody of his daughter. He starts, I guess, getting into fights outside of just in the ring. He starts dealing with drugs or alcohol. They don't really allude to that all that much, just that he has a lot of personal problems and he's very dangerous, or alludes to be very dangerous. And so they try to take his daughter away from him, and they succeed with that. So the rest of the premise of the movie is him trying to go and get he's either trying to get a job or just trying to train at Forrest Whitaker's gym. And throughout that, he then realizes the only thing that he can do to try to get his family back together, it's just mainly with his daughter, and get his life back together, is to stop doing what he's doing and get back in the ring and try to take the title and just regain his confidence in himself. So the biggest problem I had with it was that his wife died in the trailer. I mean, that's something that they could have completely avoided in the trailer, and you watch the movie and you go, oh, damn, like they could have just made it seem like he just has a separation with his family, which is kind of, that's almost cliched at this point, but still, they could have had that happen, but unfortunately they didn't. They had her die in the trailer, and they showed her die. And then even at the end, then they say like, oh, and Rachel McAdams in it, and she's just sitting there with her sunglasses, taking the sunglasses off, and it's like, why would you show that in the trailer? That's like in Star Wars Episode 5, just saying, oh, and at the end of the trailer comes up, Empire Strikes Back, and it goes, Darth Vader saying, I am your father, and Luke going, no, and then the date coming up. So I don't know what their reasoning was to show all that, but still, that's to me. So that's all the spoilers. So if you guys have muted it, you can come on back now. Again, I just can't wait to see what Jake Gyllenhaal brings to this role. I mean, that to me is the biggest thing. Under the writing of Kurt Sutter, which I'm pretty sure we have not seen hardly anything from his influence on this movie, I'm really excited about that. But one other little tidbit about this film. You can see why for the longest time that Eminem was attached to this movie. Not because he's a great actor, because outside of the fact of something happening to somebody significant, because again, I'm not doing spoilers right now, this is very similar in theme to his life. About how, because of the condition of his work and the condition of his livelihood, that he has had his family tried to be taken away from him, and all this kind of stuff, and all the battles with his wife, and all of that stuff. You can really see how Eminem would have been a good fit for this guy if we knew that he could act a little bit better than he can. I mean, I don't know if that was one of the reasons why he abandoned the project, or why he might have been forced off the project. I really don't know. I just know that for several years, Kurt Sutter was writing this movie, I believe, with Eminem in mind. That's why some of these story tropes kind of take the way that they do. So I don't know if that was the case as to why he left, but, I mean, it would have still been, I find, a little bit interesting to see that. But more importantly, I mean, under the direction of Antoine Fuqua, and it being an incredible looking boxing film, I am on board with this movie. I think it's going to be a hell of a film. I just hate the fact that a lot of the movie was spoiled in the trailer. But that's just me. The movie's going to be opening up on July 31st. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you find that they showed a little bit too much? Are you super stoked about this movie? Do you think it's going to be an incredible film? Because I don't think that we can have a movie with Jake Gyllenhaal in it and it not be an incredible movie. But again, there are times where every actor who's hitting hard strikes out. Just look at Daniel Day-Lewis in the movie 9. I mean, that movie was awful. So, I mean, that's just me. But the movie's going to be opening up on July 31st. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about this movie. If you haven't watched the trailer, again, you can watch the trailer, and the link for the video is in the description below. And if we do get more information about this topic, I will definitely update you guys on here. Well, that'll about do it for this episode of Coming Soon Movie News with Niklsun. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have been a great audience. Go ahead and click that subscribe button there in the bottom corner. Get updates whenever a new video is posted. You can also follow me on Twitter at Niklsun, Niklsun, for all of your movie updates. And also give our Facebook fan page a like at facebook.com/movie news with Niklsun. And if you ever have a topic or a question you'd like to have talked about on the show, go ahead and put a comment in the comment section, or you can email me at movienewswithnicholson@gmail.com. And on every Friday episode, we'll try to get to as many as we can. But until next time, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.